All right, welcome to the Undrafted Hockey Fan Podcast. You got Brad here today, and we got Jay Bird coming back. Jason, appreciate you coming back on.
Thank you. Appreciate
Dude,
being a part of the first one. Thank you.
well, yeah, no problem. Like, thanks for coming back, man. Like I said, I want to talk hockey, and like you can hang, man. So I appreciate it. So
Thanks.
So today we're doing a Pacific Division breakdown of what we think the standings are going to be. Just kind of checking over what happened last year, some of the things that the teams did. Trying to rip through this in less than an hour, so that way we can get my brother on. So let's have a good old mesclare party over here. So we're gonna rip through. We're gonna go 8 to first, or 8-1. Kind of go start at the bottom, and let's go with what happened last year. So last year we had the San Jose Sharks getting a whopping 19 wins last year, 54 losses, 9 OT losses for 47 points. Abysmal, bottom of the league. I mean, we're even worse than the Blackhawks with 652, which is crazy. So in 8th place, who do you got, Jason, going 8th place?
I got San Jose back at 8th place.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I don't think. I mean, the number one draft pick is going to help eventually, but kids got to get up to speed. I don't see San Jose beating anybody again. I mean, it was horrid to watch every single game that they played,
tough, man.
Except the one against us. But other than that,
buddy, I was there.
I know. I remember you saying that.
Damn it, I was supposed to swear the first. But I was there. I watched him go. It was 5-0. Then I literally told Courtney, I was like, dude, I don't feel good about this. She's like, don't say anything. And 6 goals, dude. I was furious. I was there wearing a Sharks jersey, which is hilarious. I was still mad at the Red Wings, though.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead, though.
The one thing I do have to say, I like the Tyler Toffoli signing, but I don't think he likes it. You know what I mean?
Well, he was a UFA, so he could have signed anywhere, though. So and he signed, I think, 4 years, if I remember correctly. I'm pulling it up right now.
I got
4 years there. So
yeah, he got 4 year, 24, 6 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is that what you're reading? Make sure I got that right. But But I don't think. I mean, yeah, he got he got what he's worth, but I don't think he wanted to go. I mean, California's nice, but
yeah, I mean, mind you, he lived in Jersey. He's lived in
Calgary,
Winnipeg. I mean, I think he was. I mean, he's already used to paying high taxes. Let's be honest. With
right.
Calgary, Winnipeg. So I think California is like I'm not too bad. I mean, at least you get the sun as opposed to like say Winnipeg or Calgary. So
right, it might be a tax cut compared to Canada.
Maybe right.
Not by much. Not by much.
Yeah. And he's not utilizing the public healthcare system anyways. So.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I actually disagree. I actually think it's gonna be the Ducks. So, but real quick, going over San Jose. One thing they are gonna get Will Smith, who they drafted 4th overall last year.
Okay.
So he played mostly in the AHL, but he signed his ELC. No, he didn't. He played in NCAA. So I think he'll end up coming up. So right now, actually, let me see. I can pull up let me pull up the actual screen that I have for the San Jose, because I think it might help you see what I'm seeing. Because this is kind of where I'm like, okay, I think I can see this working with San Jose and with their lineup. So if I show here, so this is got for a line. I don't know if you can see that on your phone or no.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so with it, so you have, I mean, they have Celebrini playing. I mean, that's a number 1 overall pick playing center. I don't know if he plays center immediately. I think he ends up going to the left wing. Logan Couture is still center, and Tyler Toffoli. That's not too bad for a 1st overall pick. I mean, he's gonna need I agree. I don't disagree. He's gonna need time to catch up. But they have Eklund, who they drafted. I think it was like 15th overall. He's been a good bet. Will Smith playing 3rd line. I think he actually ends up moving. I think he ends up moving up to the top center, and Mikael Granlund drops down. But yeah, I agree. This team's not great, but they traded for Ty Dellandrea. They also ended up trading for Cody Ceci, who played on the Oilers last year, Stanley Cup Finals guy, right? They traded for Jake Wallman. And I agree. Like, and mind you, they also traded for Yaroslav Askarov as well, that goalie from Nashville as well. So he'll most likely be in the AHL, and I don't disagree they're going to be bad, but I disagree because I think the Ducks are going to be even worse, because the Ducks signed nobody. I don't even know this. They signed. If you look at their Puckpedia, they
Yeah,
signed.
I was looking earlier. Yeah.
It was AHL guys, and so they signed AHL guys, and their first overall draft pick that from this year got hurt. So I'm like, so the only other thing they did is they traded for Brian Dumoulin of the Seattle Kraken, and they acquired Robbie Fabry and a 4th round pick for one ECHL goalie. So to me, Ducks, who finished 59 points last year, only 27 wins. I mean, you're really relying on that young core to do better. And at least San Jose brought some veterans in. And that's kind of where I see the differentiator of the Sharks just being a little bit better, bringing some of that leadership. And some of those veterans that the Ducks already had are still there, right? Like, so, and the veterans aren't going to get better. You know, the only thing they can do is raise the floor of the young guys, which I think can happen. I mean, maybe Zegras gets a little bit better. Maybe Michikov gets a little better. Leo Carlson is less hurt at the start of the season. But again, I think Sharks take that little bit of jump because of the veterans they brought in. But go ahead.
The Sharks, I think, yeah, I see what you're saying with the veterans they brought in. Not a, it's a valid point. I just don't think that any of them there have enough skill to even play with a skilled player. I don't see it. I don't see anybody there. I mean, the reason we traded our 1st round pick Zadina over to there was because he flat out wasn't happening, and he got the fresh start he wanted somewhere else, and he still asked.
Yeah.
So I don't think them.
Just a correction, by the way, they didn't trade Zadina. They mutually terminated his contract, and he happened to sign in San Jose.
Okay.
But yes, he did. I'm going to say that you are absolutely correct. So go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So him going there, and kind of from what we heard back at home here, is he wanted a fresh start. Right. It was
play time. He was a 12th guy. He wasn't playing well. He was a 12th.
Right. You are a 12th guy. Sorry,
yeah.
You're not even a top 6 on a shit team.
Yeah, exactly. So, or he wasn't even top 9. He wasn't even 3rd line, right?
Right.
So,
yeah,
and he wasn't performing, right? So,
yeah. To me, he didn't have it.
No, I don't disagree. I mean, again, they're fighting for the bottom, right? So I think, I still think they're both teams are going to be bad. But I definitely think there's a bit of benefit when it comes to the San Jose Sharks with the veterans. But I definitely I can see some of those young guys coming up as well. So for your 7th team, who do you got?
I have Anaheim.
Okay, so not far off of what I had, right? I mean, similar to what we said, right? They didn't sign anybody, so but they do have some good pieces. I mean, if we pull up their roster as well, I'll share it as well. We go. Of course, I'm not prepared, But anyways, yeah. So
That's all right. We're not professional.
No, I know, right? I'm trying to delay and trying to stall on everything. So,
That's right.
No, like I said, I think the issue is you need these young kids to perform, and there's no guarantee that they're going to perform. So pulling up right here, and again, talking about young guys, you have Cutter Gauthier, who they did trade from the Philadelphia Flyers. Leo Carlson, drafted last year, right? Alex Chlorine, talking about a veteran here. I like that. I don't think Cutter plays in the top line. I also don't think Leo Carlson is your top line. I think Zegras may be that, just because he's all offense. But you
Alex
have
Alex Killorn's only on this number 1 line is because it's the Ducks.
Well, that's why I think that's why I think you do a Troy Terry, Zegras, and then you move Vetrano up, right? Like, so, or you can move Killorn over to the left as well. It's fine. And then you move Cutter down left. You move Frank Vetrano to the right. You put Leo Carlson. Like, you need to protect Leo Carlson because he already had the injury history already. But again, young guys, Cutter, Leo, Zegras is not that young anymore. I mean, he's Sider's age, right? Mason McTavish, young kids. And again, you have the older guys like Alex Killorn, who was never a top line guy, in my opinion. Frank Vetrano, again, another 3rd line guy playing 2nd line because of, who
lack
he
of
is.
depth.
Yeah, lack of depth, right? Ryan Strome, you have him down on the 3rd line. Like Troy Terry did perform well that 1 year, but he kind of got his bag. But again, Anaheim can afford it. But all these other no names, Ross Johnston, Isaac Lund, I mean, they're just guys in the bottom, right? And you go to their defense, Cam Fowler, who's good, but he's been kind of stuck here he signed an 8-year contract, right? So he's kind of stuck. Pavel Minchikov, young kid, looks good. I like the Radko Gudas signing because protect the young kids.
I love a Gudis. I want a Gudis everywhere.
Dude, he's like a Marchand to me. He's like, you hate him on the other team, but he'd be your absolute fit. He's your Bertuzzi. He's your, like I said, you're Brad Marchand. You're like, these guys are like the grit. You're like, you love them because of the grit and everything. That
your
old school,
right? The past.
Exactly.
Just like I can't like every time you're getting more than enough of what you want every time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Owen Zellweger. By the way, I don't know if you've heard of this kid.
Have not.
Dude, this kid freaking rips. Second round pick. I mean, just outside the second round, 34th overall. Let me pull him up real quick. So last year he did play on the Ducks, only 9 points. But he had in the WHL 52 points in 32 games. I was like, holy as a D.
Whoa, holy fuck. Yeah. Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, so this kid is a monster. He's like I don't know if you know Lane Hudson either. He's a Montreal draftee, but he is phenomenal. And I think he's gonna have a similar, he's gonna be like a Cale Makar-esque. He'd be a little bit more, he's just phenomenal. He was a second round pick last year. He was a steal.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody can skate like Makar though.
As I'm saying, this kid is dynamic. So
yeah, okay.
And lastly, you have Johnny Gibson and then Lucas Dostal. Dostal played well last year. He's going to need a new contract, but I mean, this may be the year that they actually end up trying to trade, actually being able to trade Gibson. I mean, we'll see, but I mean, they've been trying to trade him forever. But he's been a staple on this team. He's been one of the stabilities. Him, Cam Fowler have been the staples, Yeah.
It wasn't. Really yeah, I don't think Anaheim. Like, I mean, yeah, they had bad games, but they couldn't score for shit either. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were horrid. They couldn't get out of their own way in terms of trying to get goals. Like you said, Dostal, like you can only do so much as a goaltender. So it's just. Like we, again, I'll refer because what we know 3 years ago, we saw some of the worst goaltending ever seen.
Absolutely. So we Red Wings because we're originally Red Wings fans. Yes. So we meaning we saw some terrible goaltending. I mean, that's why we picked the first overall, right? And then 2020, that's when we picked first overall. Oh wait, no, that was when they dropped to fourth overall. And by the way, they get Raymond, and I'm happy with Raymond. And he's looking like he's probably the second best person out of that draft. I'm still bitter that they didn't get the first overall. It's honestly,
I don't know how it works. I
will bitch so fucking hard. It's not even funny. Now, by the way, if you do that badly, you're pretty much guaranteed first or second overall.
And I like what they did real quick. I like what they did with the lottery because teams used to tank and try to get that where.
But then the Rangers get it, who qualified for the 24-man playoffs and made it.
Right.
It's actually so I was like, you have the 16th best team in the league, got first overall, and I was like, anyways,
it's a trap.
Yeah, it's a trap. It's anyways. So anyway, that I can go all about it. So so that's kind of where I kind of get it, but I'm also like, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I want to go with the Ducks. Actually, I have this is one of my controversials actually. So I actually have as the team that I think is going to be the worst. It is the Calgary Flames. So I have them as 7th.
Okay.
So Calgary Flames, and the reason I have that is I'm looking at what they did last year. Bless you.
Excuse me.
You're good. So they did some really, there's some wild stuff last year. Mind you, they trade Zadorov. They trade Lindholm. So you're already trading to your bigger players right here. I'm gonna pull up their page. So you trade out Lindholm, you trade out Noah Hannafin, you trade out Zadorov. So mind you, can this 2 first-round picks you got out of there for Noah Hannafin and Lindholm.
Yeah, you dropped 2 of your best D. I'm short-circuiting thinking about it.
You're good. So I just want to show the Elias Lindholm trade, getting Andrei Kuzmenko, a roster player. Hunter Brustewis, he's supposed to be basically, he's looking like Adam Fox. That's what Jeff Merrick said of Sportsnet. Says Hunter, he's the 3rd-round draft pick. He's the offensive dynamo. Yanni Urmo is fine, and a first-round pick and a fourth-round pick for Elias Lindholm. It's a ton of capital for a team that, by the way, Vancouver Canucks did not re-sign him. They let him walk to UFA. Mind you, he didn't perform as well with the Vancouver Canucks, but that's just crazy. Again, that's part of my Vancouver Canucks rant. They also traded Tanev as well. So you traded Tanev, Noah Hannafin. You're trading Zadorov. You're trading like Lindholm. Like you're trading all these guys, and it's to me that you're going to retool center. You also trade out Jacob Markstrom, first round pick, getting back him and Kevin Ball as well, right? Mind you, they did a couple of cool things. I think this is why indication of why them tanking. They trade for Mangiapane, who has 1 year left on his contract. I think they flip him. They trade a second round pick for him. I think they trade out Mangiapane. My apologies. They trade out him. So to me, like, who do they sign? Going over there, they're signing Martin Ferk, AHL. They signed Jake Bean, Ryan Lomberg, Stanley Cup winner, Ryan Lomberg, Anthony Mantha. They re-signed Sharon Govich. So if you're looking at this team, this is kind of where I if you haven't checked my last video, I did a video on best and worst retools, and I think this is a great retool. They said, well, here, let's get rid of everything that's good that we can get great assets for, and which is good. First round pick for Noah Hannafin, first round pick, like all these guys. I think that's a great part of a retool. And you sign the guys who you want to keep. You re-sign Sharon Govich. You can't move Nazem Kadri. Maybe you might, but you're retaining on that. You can't trade Jonathan Huberdeau. You can't trade Coleman, Backlund, all these old guys. Uyghur, he's in his second year of his 8-year deal. You're not trading him too. So there's some things where you only bring so many young guys in. So like you have Connor Zary, Matt Coronado, so you have this like weird, like they're like 23, 24 kids, and then you have these like 30-year-olds, and then like you bring Anthony Mantha for like a year, and I'm like, I don't really know what you're doing, but the vibes are off. That's my issue, is that their vibes are off in Calgary, and that's where I think the wall is leaking and they're plugging holes. They picked a winger up, Mantha, right? Like you have Connor Zary, who's again played well last year. He's going to be in Calder contention this upcoming year. But like you had just a bunch of tough guys, Kevin Rooney, Ryan Lomberg, like Backlund, Cole. Like I just don't know what you're doing here, and that's kind of where at least there's direction in San Jose, and Flames feels a little bit directionless. Even though I did just say they're doing a retool, it feels that way, but there's no expression of it, which leaves fans confused. It leaves players confused. Your arena's shit. It's the oldest arena in the league right now, besides Madison Square Garden. But that's just a different story.
Yeah,
but like it's a shit like player. By the way, I'm like referencing like what Spit and Chicklets and all them talk about, like how it's like a shit arena. So but like
I mean the old Saddle Dome. I mean, come on.
Yeah. No, and I get why. It's like just get a new arena, guys. Come on. So again, I just don't. This is kind of where I don't have a lot of faith, and I think they're going to trade off more stuff. I think they move Anthony Mantha. I think they move Rasmus Anderson as well. I think they move Dan Vladar. Well, I guess Dustin Wolf's kind of here as your plug-in. I just, a lot of these guys are on like 2-year contracts or in their last year of the 2-year contracts. And I'm just like, you're trying to get by, I think.
Yeah, you're trying to survive until you can pick a cherry.
Well,
there's a lot of nothing going on there. There's a lot of nothing.
This is nowhere near a playoff team. It's not like you're going to try and beat out Oilers, Canucks, Vegas, Kings. Like you're not even better than the Kraken right now, who I'll shit on later. And mind you, they tied with the Kraken for 5th place in the Pacific. They were 17 points away from the wild card, right? So like you're
long way. Yeah, you're not even
8.5 wins away. You're 8.5 wins to tie a wild card team.
Right, like, you're not even sniffing it.
That's what I'm saying. So like, and with all of them they end up moving, mind you, at least they made moves and they recognize a little bit of what they were doing.
Hardly though. It's not enough.
I'm questioning. Well, and that's why I have Flames at 6, and actually that's why. And then I don't know if you can tell, there's a team not here yet. Again, like I said, Homer. I think Sharks are 6. I think there's a direction to here.
I got Calgary at 6.
Okay, so we just have those. So we have them we have those swaps. So I mean, I walk through now. You think Calgary's better than the Sharks?
Yeah.
Which is fine. I know I just shit all over Calgary, right? You know,
right.
My,
I mean, it's really hard to say. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, both of them are shit. Yes, there's, San Jose gets a first round pick, but I mean, that doesn't mean shit. I mean, I guess they got Wallman and Toffoli. I guess I didn't really read my notes correctly, so maybe I
Wenberg,
goofed a little bit.
Well, by the way, like Huberdeau set the record for best right winger or best winger. It was like he beat out, I can't remember the record, but he beat out someone. I think it was Robitaille. It was some big player for most points by like a right winger or a left winger ever. It was like 100. It was something crazy.
Was it like Jerome McGinley or some shit?
No, I think it wasn't McGinley. He wasn't a winger. I thought he was a Jonathan riff for a second. But yeah, I think he was a center, wasn't he?
I didn't think so. I thought Jerome McGinley was a winger.
You might be right.
I thought he was left wing.
So actually, by the way, fun fact about Jonathan Huberdeau, he had 115 points with the Panthers.
The year he left to go sign, right?
Yeah. So he had 115 points. And I'm looking up right now, right before. He beat out. Yeah, he set a season record, reach 100 points. No, I can't find the record. But anyways, he now holds the record for the largest record or largest point drop off between seasons. By 60 points.
Yeah.
115 points to the Panthers, to 55 points with the Flames, which is crazy for a guy who made $10.5 million.
Got a payday out of it, and then was like, points. "Yeah, I'm gonna lay an egg."
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, again. So, like, best case scenario, you get him to a point a game. The team that I rattled off.
Right. I mean, he's playing with, Barkey and shit, getting 115 points.
That's what I'm saying. Chuck wasn't there yet, but yeah,
not yet.
But it's what I'm saying. Like, and mind you, he had a great season. And like when he signed that contract at 115 points, that $10.5 million made sense.
Oh, totally.
Like it made sense. But again, it's so unfortunate. You're like, dude, like, and now. But again, mind you, Calgary can stomach it right now because they're sitting at almost $20 million in cap space. Again, as a team that's going for the playoffs have $20 million in cap space?
No. You didn't make enough. You didn't do enough moves.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They didn't sign anybody big enough. They didn't try and go after anybody. That's why I feel. I mean, like I said, at least the Sharks went out and did some stuff. Like again, it wasn't much, but they did something where you're like, okay, like this makes sense. You're trying. You have a direction, and again, that's right. Again,
the Sharks have a lot more to now go for, though. They are the ass of the ass. So Calgary, not so much, where they're. They were a little bit competitive, not last year, but in a couple of years before that, they were somewhat competitive. So they don't see as a whole retooling you need to go out and get right away. Whereas I think San Jose, being the laughing stock at the bottom with their performance last year, needed to show that, okay, we need to go do something before the fans go nuts.
Right. We got our first overall draft pick. We got our franchise player. Great. The problem is, I mean, it was right before Gaudreau left and Tkachuk was traded. Like Calgary beat the Dallas Stars in that epic. Johnny Gaudreau scored that overtime goal in the seventh game in that series in 2022.
Right.
And so he pulls off that stuff. And like, I'm like, okay, so you're good. Like they were good. They made it to the second round. So and mind you, San Jose has 10.4. You're telling me a team like San Jose, who has $10.4 million in cap space, is rebuilding, and the Calgary Flames with almost double isn't rebuilding? Like, you know what I mean? That's again, that's kind of where I'm like, I think they take on some dead cap. I think if they find a way to trade for Pierre-Luc. Well, I mean, Pierre-Luc Dubois almost got traded probably to Calgary. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's interesting. So I mean, either way, I think they're all going to be shit. So you had Flames, and understandably, because they made a ton of moves to be worse. I mean, for their future, right? They first round picks and Brustevich. I always mess up his name. So
Bursum. Yeah, what? Yeah.
I want to say Brustevich, but it's all right. He's
too
a good
many
player.
consonants, not enough vowels. Too many consonants.
Too many letters. Let's be honest. I think it's like 15 letters, dude. So, anyways, go on to your fifth pick. So, mind you, just to go over real quick who we had. So last year was Sharks at the bottom, Ducks, then Kraken, then Flames. Okay, so and I had right now I have Ducks being the worst, Flames being second worst, and Sharks coming in at sixth. Jason, who do you got?
I got Seattle at number 5.
Seattle number 5. Okay, so we are clicking on that with that. So talk to me about Seattle and why you got them there.
Seattle, I see them. They were making some moves at the end of the year last year. They were getting hot, and I think Matty Beniers, great U of M product, go blue.
Great signing.
Great signing. I'll have to go for you with the numbers on that, but
Matty Beniers signed for $50 million over 7 years, so it ends up being like I think it's 4 point. Let me scroll quick. 7.14. So
okay. Yeah, great signing. Very good deal.
Yeah.
The Montour deal surprises me quite a bit.
I mean, and he signed the exact same deal as Beniers, but he's 30 as opposed to being like 22.
I'm surprised that I know Florida had a lot of decisions to make with re-signing, a few of their, star cast members, but I did not see them giving up a defenseman like him.
Well, mind you, it was between Reinhart and Montour. Do we sign Reinhart, who had 60 goals, or do we sign Brandon Montour?
Reinhart I'm not calling it a flash in the pan, but he ain't scoring 60 again for the rest of his life.
57. He had 94 points in 82 games. Do you know how much?
Never happen again.
I think they're okay with that because they only signed at 8.6. Would you rather take Reinhart at 8.6 or Montour at 7.1? Montour had 33 points in 66 games. He's a half a point per game player. Reinhart was 1.15 points per game, and most of those being goals.
Montour saves 1 goal a game. I feel like that guy is just outstanding. That guy makes, I don't know, for goals per game to goals saved per game. I gotta take the defenseman because they have Barkov that can score 100 points if need be. I mean, the guy's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Kachuk. Sam Bennett is in the mix there as well. Like the guy's just a beast. He opens up holes everywhere.
Well, and we'll get to Florida when we do our Atlantic division. But like
that's why I guess I would rather have retained Montour and let Reinhart sign somewhere else.
No, it's there. I mean, see, to me, like when you have 2 big guys to end the conversation, I think when you have Ekblad and you have who's the guy that picked up on waivers? He signed a big deal. Forsling.
Yes, yeah. Okay,
When you have those 2 guys, I think that you're kind of covered on the defensive side because of Forsling. But I think I don't disagree. But I think I think letting Brandon. I mean, let's find out the value that Kraken think they're going to get with him. They signed him for 7 years, max length you can do for a UFA, $50 million a year, 7.14 million per year, with Chandler Stevenson, by the way, which you and I discussed before. I mean, on Brandon Montour, I probably it was too expensive, but I think Kraken don't have much to work with. Let's be honest. Let me pull up their lines real quick. let's see, add her here. So they don't have much to work with because you have when you came to your center depth, you have Beniers and you had Yanni Gord. I mean, and Jared McCann, but you don't want to play him second line. He's too good to play second line right now. And then your defense, Montour, kind of like I said, he brings that good defensive touch. But that's why they re-signed Alan Larson. So like, I get it. I mean, their defense is pretty lackluster, so I understand why they spent the money to get Brandon Montour. And the thing is that I imagine Chandler Stevenson wasn't the first option that Seattle wanted. They probably wanted Lindholm because he was the top center. He was the top center. I guess you can call Stamkos a center, but top center of the UFA. But I think they ended up having to settle with Chandler Stevenson and give him that massive contract because that's who was left at the dance. You know what I mean? So.
Well, don't get me wrong, but is Jake DeBrusk a center or a winger?
He was a winger, and he got 7.7.
Okay.
So he was still a $7 million player. So you're paying more for DeBrusk, but DeBrusk puts up a little bit more numbers. I think Stevenson, to me, I've always saw him as more a defensive guy. 51 points in 75 games, so not terrible. But I mean, that was just last year with Vegas, by the way. And mind you, again. My biggest issue is these are 30-year-olds. So
yep.
You're bringing in these guys for so long. And mind you, again, I understand why you don't have any options. Seattle doesn't have the benefit of having 6 years of guys in development that they signed 3 years, that they drafted 3 years ago or 6 years ago, signed them to an NHL contract 3 years prior to that, and are now just coming out of their ELCs. They have really young guys picking up waivers, guys they got in the draft. Like Jared McCann, they got in the expansion draft. Drayden Schwartz again in the expansion draft. Jordan Eberle, I think they traded for him. Either way, Burakovsky, they got in the UFA, expensive. They traded for Bjorkstrand. Brandon Tanev, they got in the expansion. So like some of these guys are kind of like, and then you have like those are all like more expensive, like middling guys. And look, they're not being paid a ton, so they do have a lot of cap space to work with. Let's see what they got. Go to their. Never mind, they have no cap space to work with. I apologize. They have $4,200.
Okay, so I mean, then they spent their dollar and they did it.
I just don't think they did it wisely. That's the issue. And I mean, Shane Wright's going to need time, right? Like was a 4th overall pick in 2023, I think.
Nobody wants to play there either.
Yet, I don't think yet.
I don't know though. I mean,
you have go ahead.
It rains 310 days out of the year. It sucks.
Yeah. It is West Coast though. It's not San Jose or LA, but it is West Coast. So yeah, it's not great. But I mean, that's kind of where you're again, there's just only person that excites me is Matty Beniers, and he's a second line center he's JT Compher right now. That's basically, to me, how he feels. He had 37 points in 77 games, under half a point per game player. Mind not a great team. They missed the playoffs last year. I like Ty Cartier. I think Ali Tovalin was a good waiver pickup. Like, hopefully Shane Wright works out. Did you see the draft where he was supposed to go? I don't know if you know this. Shane Wright was supposed to go first overall. Do you remember this or no?
No, I don't remember him.
So Shane was supposed to go first overall in 2022, and he was for 3 years. This kid's told he's going to be the first overall draft, pretty much best guy in the draft. Montreal is picking, and there's like rumors that they might not pick him, and they're like, what? Like, oh my goodness, that's when they pick Yurov Slavkovsky. And by the way, Courtney and I are outside Detroit, watching the draft on the screen and everything. And I was like, oh my God, dude. Like, oh my God, they picked Yurov Slavkovsky. I'm like, holy smokes. I'm like, well, Arizona's up next. And I was like, well, Arizona's not going to pick him. Like, they're still in the middle of the rebuild. Like, they're going to pick Logan Cooley. And the guy next to me is like, no way. Fuck you. They're going Shane Wright. He was supposed to be for Arizona. I'm like, dude, they don't. Shane Wright is more NHL ready. They don't need an NHL ready guy. They want the guy that's the long play. Logan Cooley has a higher ceiling, so it's take longer to develop, but he's going to be a better player. They're going to pick Logan Cooley. They pick Logan Cooley, and he's like, "Oh fuck you!" And I was like, I think Shane goes 4th, And he's like, no way. And by the way, before all this, he's like, I'll finish whoever does it finishes their beer first. I was like, bet, let's go, dude. And he's like, Shane Wright's going 3rd overall. And I'm like, it's New Jersey. They have center depth. They have Heischer. They have Hughes. They don't need a center. They're gonna go defensive. They're gonna go Simon Nemec. And he's like, nah, fuck you, dude. Blah, blah. Courtney's watching me call this shit in front of this guy. She's like, who the fuck is my husband, dude?
Nostradamus.
Dude, I'm fucking calling this. You're fucking hitting dingers, dude.
Yeah.
And then they pick Simon Nemec, and I'm like, all right, Seattle will probably pick him. And then he goes 4th overall, and the guy slams his beer. He's like, dude, that was fucking cool. Like, I'm like, yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it. You know,
I do this.
I did my scouting report. This is before I even started the YouTube channel. I was just like on top of it. But anyways, again, not impressed. We got to rip through this because we're trying to shoot another video later. So, but anyways, let's rip this. Kraken, I agree. They're gonna miss the playoffs. I think they're not there yet. They still need more. Bring the young guys up, and again, another directionless team, in my opinion. I just don't know what their goal is right now. So make the playoffs. They make the second round the first year. Second year, they completely missed the playoffs by a long shot. So, anywho, going for 4th. Okay, so 4th last year was the Vegas Golden Knight, who did make it in the playoffs in a wild card spot with Mark Stone hurt, and he was ready for the playoffs. Crazy, huh?
Nikita Kucherov all over again.
Yeah, Mark. It's also becoming a Mark Stone thing too, so don't you worry. So but all right, now for Vegas was 4th last year. Who do you got for 4th?
I got the Kings at 4th.
Okay, yeah. So I got. Go ahead.
Yep. No real particular reason. Just I didn't think any of the other 4 below them had anything for LA.
No, I mean I think the LA Kings get there by default, not because they deserve to, because they happen to, right? Like there happens to be a space there for someone to come in, right? And mind you, the Kings they made a big trade though. They made a huge trade, moving out. Let me get this off the screen. They did a huge trade, and that was Tanner Jeannot.
Yeah.
no, that's not the one I'm talking about, of course. But Tanner Jeannot, they picked up for a 2nd and 4th round pick. I think he's fine. He's a 3rd line guy, not a big deal. But the big one, the immovable contract that the LA Kings were able to move. Rob Blake, his Sir Fuck Up himself, signs his massive contract for Pierre-Luc Dubois and ends up moving him 3 days before his no movement clause kicks in for Darcy Kemper. So LA loses Talbot. They pick up, Pierre-Luc Dubois, which is, or they move Pierre-Luc Dubois. They pick up Kemper, and so you get, and mind you, this is now allowing Quentin Byfield, who was playing wing, now can slide into that 2nd line center spot. And so if we pull up this, we got their lineup and everything. Alex Lafrère, I think he played well. Anze Kopitar, of course, Adrian Kempe. I mean, you're not going to be wrong with that. Top line with Anze Kopitar and Adrian Kempe. Put anyone that wing, they're going to play well.
Right.
Kevin Fiala, Byfield, Warren Fogle, which is why I have the King. I have Vegas. Honestly, Vegas and Kings. I'm kind of with you. I could put them 4th as well.
Yeah.
Not impressed. My issue is the reason I put Vegas as 4th is because they're so goddamn injury prone. They literally traded for an injured Hurdle last year at the trade deadline, right? So you have an injured. Hopefully he's trained well and he's PT'd over the summer. Mark Stone always perpetually injured. Like you lose a big guy like Jack Eichel, you're done. Like it's just like you lose one more big guy and you're done. Like it's just they crumble so quickly. And that's what happened last year. They just had so many injuries that it just didn't work out for them. In the first round, they lost, right?
Yeah.
But Warren Fogle, I think they overpaid for them. Tanner Jeannot is fine. He's like a easy bet. Love Philip Deneau. Loved him in that Canadians series when he played there. That's why he got the contract that he did. Drew Doughty, of course. Mikey Anderson, nice long contract. The two people that I'm most excited about this team is Jordan Spence and Brant Clark, both right-handed defensemen. Brant Clark is, I was just talking to you about who did I mention it before? The defenseman. Anyways, Brant Clark was played also very phenomenally in the OHL. Let me pull up his stats real quick. He still has ELC, so this is exactly what they they want for this guy. But as a defenseman, 61 points in 31 games as a defenseman. Like,
yeah.
And that was you're like, oh, that's amazing. His first year in the OHL, mind you, I think this is prior to his draft. No, it was his first year of his draft. 59 points in 55 games. You're like, point per game player is amazing for a defenseman. And then he goes and does it again in the OHL and gets 2 points per game as a defenseman. I'm like,
right.
I'm so excited for him. So that's also why I have the Kings a little higher, because I think their young guys a little less unproven, but I think that they can do more with what they got. And again, they have some guys that are established here already, so and you have Gavrikov. I don't like Joel Edmondson. He's just like a big tough guy. I don't mind him, but he's fine. But
he doesn't. Yeah, he's not gonna hurt you, but he ain't gonna make you great.
Yeah, but my interesting thing is the Darcy Kemper, as I think he's good. I think Talbot looked good in front of Edmonton or in front of LA because LA has a good defense. I think Kemper will have a better year. New scene, living in LA, sunny as shit.
Yeah, I think Kemper's good anyway. I like his game.
But he wasn't good last year is the issue. And he was on Washington, who made the playoffs. He had a .89 save percentage, so not only under 900, it was .89 and a 3.31 save, like, goals against. So I'm just like, so that's kind of where I'm a little sour on him.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking like Coyotes Kemper,
or maybe Stanley Cup winner Kemper.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that, but mind you, finally, I am glad. I think that I'm glad that LA finally committed to Byfield, $6.25 million. I think that was great for him as well.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be a good young kid for them long term. And again, he really started to break out this past year. I don't think I have his stats up right now. No, I do not. Let me pull him up quick. But yeah, Byfield, mind you, playing wing, 55 points in 80 games. And he was a second overall, and we were kind of waiting for him to hit. I think it was an overpay. And mind you, this contract actually takes him up to pass to UFA, so he can leave at the end of this contract. So I think that's a little risky for LA, but we'll see. I mean, hopefully it pans out well. I think he's going to be given a lot of opportunity as a second line center. So moving on to your third. So you had Kings as your fourth. I had Vegas, and now who's your third?
I have Edmonton sitting at third.
Get fucked. You're telling me Stanley Cup guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying it.
Okay. So I'm so disagreeing with you. It's not even funny. Right. I have Kings. Okay. Talk to me. Okay. You have Vegas beating out Edmonton?
Yeah.
Get fucked. Okay. Talk to me. What you got?
Edmonton is a sham. They're not that great. They had an amazing streak last year. Yeah, we all saw it. They won, 16 games in a row or whatever. Nobody gives a shit. Mr. fucking Draisaitl, McDavid, here we go. Top 2 in the league, points every year, Hart trophies. What have you done for me lately except go to the finals?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just I'm shitting on them 100% right now. I know this, but I don't see that magic at all. I don't see it. I think it was a fluke.
Okay. I mean, so, but what you don't think they have, even with the same team, they don't have it? Like
100%. They're nothing. Their power play is the only reason they have a team. I mean, they can't score for shit 5-on-5.
You can say the same thing with the Red Wings, but
Yeah, but I don't have them third in the division.
No, you probably have them lower actually.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Jaime had a massive year. Connor McDavid always has a massive year. Leon Draisaitl signs a massive contract. He's always going to be good still. I think Jeff Skinner was a good pickup. I think Arvidsson is fine. I mean, but again, I don't disagree. I think it's the best top 6. Last year was the best top 6 in the league. I think their bottom 6 is shit though. I mean, Evander Kane is not going to start in training camp. You pick up Podkolzin. I mean, you have Perry. Like what are you
The
doing?
old dirt bag. He's like old as a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, dude, he's still fucking fighting for it. Mind you, he still went to a Stanley Cup final again, dude. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, the only one to lose 4 in a row.
Yeah, it is. It's stupid. So, but I like Matisse at home. I like Evan Bouchard. Again, good top pair. Shit, the rest of the way. Darnell Nurse is not a $9 million defenseman. He's like a $6 million defenseman, in my opinion.
I don't even think that. I think you were nice.
I think he's better than you think. I mean, like, mind you, he had 32 points in 81 games. Never mind. But defensemen never score that crazy. But Bouchard was a different level. Bouchard will be your $10 million.
Bouchard is that dude. He's got that bomb. He's got that clapper, dude. He is. Yeah.
He is. And Stuart Skinner was playing well too. I think he played well in the playoffs too. So, I mean, Edmonton's always going to outscore their problems. But again, I don't disagree.
They lost two of their best grind linemen. They're done.
Broberg. Well, I mean, they had the opportunities of Broberg and Holloway, but those were like middle of the pack guys. Like Broberg just started to break out. Like Holloway's just starting to like step up. Like so, like to me, you basically backfilled them with like a Connor Brown, or not a Connor Brown, like an Arvidsson was basically your Holloway replacement. Broberg was replaced by Ty Emberson, who's really unproven. He played with the Sharks last year. Yeah, I mean, I
don't like it.
I think their upside is too high to go against it like that. I can't do third. I can't do third. But you are making me think about this. So I had Kings. So I had like Vegas in fourth, Kings in third. I'm blown away that you have Vegas ahead of them, and I would love to see you. I mean, okay. I mean, so again, I think the highs are so high for Edmonton, but I don't disagree that the lows are pretty low. They're not built well enough, and
I don't see them as an even strength team, and that's, I mean, that's
playoff hockey right there.
Yeah, and I don't think their penalty kill is stellar. I mean, it was during the playoffs, right? I think that was a freak occurrence, to be honest, because Skinner was outstanding.
Yeah,
they gave up shitloads of chances, and I mean a shitload. Skinner was on top of his head, but
yeah,
without their power play, which what was it? They ripped 38% in the playoffs or some crazy number
like that. Yeah.
Without that, how many goals did they score 5-on-5 in the playoffs?
Oh, dude, I mean, probably
less than 10.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it was garbage. I'm sure.
So I mean, that's just I don't see again how I don't think they're going to be able to run a gauntlet like that again. I think teams are like it won't happen. I don't believe it.
See, I don't disagree. I disagree because the NHL favors McDavid. Question, you know what I mean? Like I think Oilers can outscore their problems, and McDavid, even off the power play, is still an amazing player. Draisaitl off the power play is still an amazing player. And I think as long as you get like basically you have two crazy offensive lines and then you have two crazy defensive lines. And I think that's kind of their style right now, which is how they're ended up where they're ending up. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I mean, if they put Evander Kane on LTIR and get that $5 million and let that accrue throughout the year and maybe move him. I think that could be, it could free up some cap space and then you could acquire some cap space to try and get someone. So let's see, they still have, right now they have 945. So basically what I was been told is pretty much by the time, whatever you start if you make no moves, and you have whatever you start with at the start of the year is you times it by 4 is about the amount of cap space you'll acquire throughout the year. So they'll have almost $4 million in cap space. If they can get a guy who is a $7.5 million player, half retained, basically. So to just give you an idea of someone like that. So
yeah,
like you could almost like if you can double retain on retain. I mean, they wouldn't do this, but like Stamkos makes $8 million, you could basically double retain on Stamkos. So okay, well, third Oilers, holy shit. I'm excited for you to go through that again. So later, and I have Kings. So for number 2, who you got then?
Vegas.
King. Vegas. Okay, so And do you like some of the moves they made? Because I think they traded for Hurdle, like I said. They traded for Hannafin. I like those. Who else? They picked up Samsonov as a backup, which I'm less good about. They also picked up Alexander Holtz from the New Jersey Devils, who did not work out with the Devils, but he was a 6th overall draft pick. Thoughts? Talk to me. Justify Vegas, man.
Well, Vegas is, to me, that team who always has shown the dog in the fight.
Yep.
They are 100. Every time I've watched a Vegas game, every single player is all in.
Okay.
Every time they roll 4 lines, they get pucks deep. They have skilled players. I understand the Mark Stone thing, right? He's not necessarily always healthy, and he's injury prone. But, dude, do they have a goalie in that Hill kid?
I liked Hill when he was with the he was with Coyotes. I liked him when he was with San Jose, and then San Jose trades him for a 4th round pick to Vegas. I was like, to your competitor? What are you doing, dude? I was pissed.
Aiden Hill is that motherfucker. He is something else.
Love Aiden Hill. Big fan.
So again, that's going to be probably my biggest reason for putting them at number 2 is they have an outstanding goaltender, and he was thrown in to the mix. What was it? Was it 2 years ago?
4th goalie? Yeah, because it was who won last year? Florida. Then you have 2023 was Vegas. Yeah.
So go ahead.
I mean, so he was the 4th goaltender in 2023 when they played. So it was like you lost Leonard, you lost Brossois, you lost. I can't think of the other guy, but yeah, you're right. He was the 4th goaltender. Mind you, my only issue is you have a guy in Aiden Hill, and I genuinely like him. 28 years old, he's hitting his prime. He only played 35 games last year, and if you need to be able to rely on him to play 45 plus games if you're gonna have Samsonov as your backup. I think
it was a nice introductory, though. 35 games. It's a nice way to get your feet wet.
But he has to play more than half, right? Because you're relying on Samsonov for the other 41 and hope you don't get in as a wild card again. That's my biggest issue is that you have that. But again, I agree. He can, if they have to roll him out, they'll roll him out more if they have to, right? But you don't want him to get hurt either, right? So, hey, Vegas' style.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's why I like them.
No, I hear you. But again, I mean, I love Jack Eichel. Barbashev was a great pickup. I love Hurdle, fan of Sharks. But again, it's interesting. You have like Barbashev, great, Eichel, great, Olofsson. Okay, sure, figure it out, right? Then you have Hurdle, Stone, and you have Pavel Drozorov, whatever his name. I'm like, okay, great. Carlson, Holt. I like Holt. I think he's a good bet. And then you get your defense, Hannafin, Pietrangelo, fucking slam dunk, dude. That's awesome. McNabb's good. Theodore's good. I mean, White Cloud's good. Haig's good. I mean, so like there is a good team here, and I don't see them above. I think they are deeper for sure, but their ceiling is not as high as Oilers. But I can see your justification. I can see your justification there. Like Oilers have higher ceiling, lower floor. Vegas is lower ceiling, higher floor, right? So
right.
But I don't mind that. So you have Vegas as your number 2. I have Canucks. I'm still you're kind of pushing me on those Oilers though. I mean, they might drop to 2, but I have Canucks right now. I think Canucks played really well. I think they overperformed. I mean, mind you, if we look at what happened last year, Oilers finished second. Oilers finished second here. Let me scroll in. Second with 104 points. Canucks had 109. They were only 1 win away, right? The only differences were the OT losses were a little bit higher for the Canucks. But again, I really like the Canucks. I think they did a really good job. I think they brought in a what's his face? DeBrusk. I really like that. Let me pull up their line.
Tyler Myers.
Well, they already had Tyler Myers.
No, I like to re-sign though. I like to sign it.
Yeah. So looking at their, I mean, I'm high in the Oilers. I think they're just to hit the Oilers real quick and make me move on to the Vancouver Canucks because we talked about the Oilers a ton. I think Oilers, it's one of those things I think you have to lose hard to understand what it's like to win a Stanley Cup. We saw that with Florida. Florida lost hard to the Vegas Golden Knights, right?
Yeah, they got the shit beat out of them, really.
Which is why I think Oilers are my Stanley Cup favorites right now because they lost Game 7 of the Stanley. You were 2 goals away from kissing that Stanley Cup. And McDavid didn't even come out for Conn Smythe. He won the Conn Smythe too. So, I
could do an hour on that, but
I mean, he was the best player. Let's be honest. I mean,
like his actions as well.
Oh, I disagree. I think hockey's a team sport, and you stayed there with your boys. So, I mean, like
I think it's classless not to accept an award given on your behalf live right there.
Fuck Gary Bettman.
Guess what?
Fuck
Bettman has grown the game like no other motherfucker. Hate him if you will,
buddy. I got a podcast for you to listen to about how the NHL is nowhere near where it should be. Nowhere. It's the worst of the four sports. But I digress. In public popularity.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. But it ain't never gonna be popular over any of the other 3.
Not anymore. But it was at one point. It was more popular than NBA. That's a conversation for another day.
That's before they let other people play in the NBA.
Ooh, like Europeans?
No, I'm not going to say it, but they.
Yeah, no. This is like the 90s.
No, they let white people play.
No, in the 90s, it was. I mean, I think black people played for a while. I mean, Jordan played in the 80s.
Yeah, he was drafted in '84.
Yeah, so in the 90s, NBA and NHL were neck and neck in publicity. NHL was actually a little bit more popular. And then we had the dead puck era, and then the cap. It's
lockout after lockout.
Yeah, there's a lot of fuck ups, and again, to me, those are Gary Bettman's faults. But again, I'll send you a podcast about it, from that agent that I was telling you about.
That's ownership. That's also ownership. Not everyone's going to be happy.
Yeah, well then, fucking ownership for delaying your shit. Anyways, go to the Vancouver Canucks. Okay, so you have Canucks being over first overall in the division.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I mean, I don't mind that. I actually don't like JT Miller. I remember very high. I'm higher on Elias Pettersson, of course, but I think JT Miller has surprised me. I had an issue with, I think it was whatever goalie was in the net, and he was behind the net, and he fucking hit his stick on the fucking net, telling his goalie to be pulled, which to me was like, I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. To me, that was a little bit crazy, but I mean, he's very much performed. 40-goal scorer. Yeah. Brock Besser. Big fan.
Yeah, hard player.
Yep, you signed DeBrusk to that 7-year contract, $5.5 million. Elias Pettersson signed his contract last year. I love Niels Hoglander. Big fan of him.
Yeah. Yep.
DiGiuseppe played well. Blueger's fine. I'm a big fan of Garland as well. They signed Spronger. They had Pius Suter. I mean, I like those two, especially. I
liked Suter, actually. I
did too. I
like him. I like him.
I think he left because there was just like, I mean,
he was fourth line, not getting time.
Well, he was playing second line in that shit season.
Well, I mean, also because injuries and such, but I mean, he's not. Yeah. He's not a
second line
right,
guy. He's
exactly.
a fourth line guy. Yeah. So,
yeah.
And then you have a massive defense in Quinn Hughes, Norris Winter, Philip Hronek. I mean, gotta love Philip Hronek.
Dude, their defense is stacked.
Yeah, Carson Soucy, Tyler Myers, Vincent Desharnais. That's awesome. Derek Forbort play for Boston. I mean, the defense, that offensive. I can't believe you have offensive dynamo Philip Hronek and offensive dynamo Quinn Hughes. Dude, that's what blows my mind too.
Dude, they could eclipse 100 goals between them.
Dude, probably. Dude, how nuts that be? I think Cale Makar did 30 goals for the first time since Bobby Orr. I think it was 30 goals or something like that. It was.
Are you sure it wasn't Brian Leetch? You don't think Brian Leetch did that before?
I don't think he did. I don't think Brian Leetch ever got there. Well, Brian Leetch may have done, but he was before. Maybe.
That would have been in the 90s.
Let's find out. We gotta go to Hockey Reference real quick. Let's see. He never hit, the highest he hit was 23.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, no, I mean still phenomenal, but never
Right.
did it. So crazy, dude.
Wow.
He had 102 points in 80 games.
That's dumb, dude.
Dude, that's so dumb.
That's
so dumb.
stupid.
That's so dumb. I love it. So the reason I have Canucks lower is because Demko is hurt. And Demko has an injury that he has to have to play through this whole year. That they literally told the news told them that, or not the news, the people told them that. So Archer Seeloffs played well, but he was your third goalie last year. And so you move off of DeSmith, you bring up Archer Seeloffs. He played well, but
didn't Seeloff didn't he go somewhere else this offseason?
No, Seeloffs is with them. DeSmith went. DeSmith left.
Who am I thinking about?
Yeah,
never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, Casey DeSmith was their backup last year. He also got hurt, which is why Seeloffs came in. So as their third goalie. So Demko was hurt. DeSmith was hurt. So Seeloffs came in, 23 years old, now being the backup of the Vancouver Canucks, which is crazy. So
yeah.
So I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a good year for Vancouver. I think they're gonna have a great year again. I don't disagree that they potentially could take over. I mean, they're again deeper. I don't think your high end players aren't as there. Like you have like high end players are JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, Brock Besser, Quinn Hughes, Hronek. But I think because goaltending is gonna be an iffy one for them, I think it may set Vancouver a little bit back. I mean, we could say that about Kings, who we don't know if Kemper's gonna work out. We can say that about Vegas, who's gonna be riding Aiden Hill a lot harder because they have Samsonov. I mean, goaltending is not you don't have great goaltending in the Pacific. There can be good ones, but there's not necessarily going to be guaranteed there.
Right. So. And I think I'll go back one more to finish on to go back a little bit to finish on the Edmonton comment. I wanted to make another thing here was that Hyman is never going to be that again.
Well, he was never expected to be that in the first place.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's a complete fluke. You're going to lose 25 goals off the board this year.
Ooh, look at you, buddy. Put on the big balls, aren't you? Huh?
I mean, what did he have? 58?
Pulling up right now. 54.
Okay.
And he was almost a point per game player at $5.5 million, by the way.
Steal of the century.
Nebraska's making more. Yeah,
it won't pan out. I'm sorry. Hyman, he was never even signed. Like you said, he wasn't signed to be that guy. He ain't going to keep that up. And I don't think Edmonton, if they don't have that extra goal scoring, they don't win those 16 games in a row.
Well, they lost 10 in a row at the start, remember? Their first 10 games they lost.
Right, and then they fired old Mr. fucking idiot and then hired Knobloch. And
yeah. Mind you, with the Edmonton Oilers, he's only gone up. He's went from 27 goals in his first year, 36, then 54. Even if he drops back down to 40, $5.5 million for 40 goal scorers. I mean, even for 35 goals is probably the expectation based on what he's done. Like for $5.5 million, it's fucking steal. So
yeah,
we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. But I don't disagree that they'll definitely lose goals. I mean,
right. That was just like my final comment. I can understand it could go either way. I
love the hot take. I love that. Yeah. I don't mind that at all. So, but we'll wrap this up. We got another record. We got someone else sitting in the wings. So, Jay, I appreciate it. We'll knock this out again. I'm sure we'll get you back on and everything. So, thanks a lot, man, and appreciate it. Yeah, love you, man.
All right, love you too, man. See you. We'll talk to you in a minute.
Sounds good.